Okay, today we're going to be covering the iPet Goat 3 video and the symbolism that's there. A lot of you probably have already come across this video. This is a 3D animated CGI video regarding some truths of our world that are going to be revealed. And years ago, I came across the iPet Goat 2 by Heliofont. This one is by Seymour Studios. I'm not sure why, there was two different studios that created the iPet Goat, but the original story stems from 9/11 and when the Twin Towers came down and how George Bush Jr. was in a classroom of children reading My Pet Goat, a book, and it was actually, I think, upside down when he was supposed to be reading it to the classroom. And so there were also some different things that were drawn on the wall, and they were also chanting. They were getting the kids to do this exercise where they were basically creating a chant, which was kind of like a magic spell. You'll have to go check out that whole video with George Bush, and he's sitting there. And when he receives the news that towers fell, he did not even react. He just sat there, because that's all part of this whole construct of evil that's been around us, this black magic that I've been talking about. It's absolutely everywhere. And people who wear black are actually part of the black magic. So, that's all Saturnian in its nature. When you wear black, you're actually honoring Satan or Saturn. But we're not going to get into that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the symbolism in this little video. I'm not going to play the music and the sound because, they will give me a strike, I'm sure, for playing this thing. But, we have to see this stuff. Like, what most people don't know, this stuff is out there. So I'm just pulling it forward to go over the symbolism that is here. Now, as the video begins, it is obviously Trump and Putin pretending to fight. Okay. And they're pretending to fight on top of a dojo, which is a dwelling, which is, over China, basically. They're fighting, pretending to fight. There's, fire in the background. Here we go. They're doing their little moves, pretending to fight on top of China. Fighting over China, just pretending to. Now, in the back, we have the ice wall or Antarctica, and the snow is falling. This can also mean that it is wintertime because we are in the winter still in the astrotheology of the ages. The winter is still happening, and it will continue to go throughout the age of Aquarius. So, but, for the first 1,000 years or so in the age of Aquarius, we're going to be undoing what's been done with all of the Saturnian empire and sort of doing away with it, breaking it down and changing and transforming the world into hopefully a better place. But I think there's going to be two different factions with the artificial intelligence as well as the natural world. Those are going to be the two foundational options and paths for the age of Aquarius. And as we move on, there is a pyramid. It is a metallic pyramid. So you want to note all of these things when you're looking at the symbolism. What does it mean that this is not a stone pyramid, but a metal pyramid? Well, we're after the age of winter, which is Aquarius, we're going to be going into the Iron Age. And this could be a potential, symbol for that. So this is the pyramid with the all-seeing eye of illumination. This is also, representative of what we've had out here in the world, where these Satanists or Saturnists put themselves on high to look over the world with their secret societies. And there's always a higher consciousness that is watching us. Most people are not aware of this. You can call it God, but what it is we have just people who have evolved, so to speak, consciousness that has evolved to a point to where it does not have to reincarnate anymore. because we are stuck in a reincarnation trap. That's what Ouroboros is. It's symbolic of that. So here we go, we're going forward. And as you can see, there's fire in the sky. Oh yeah. And that comes by so fast that you can't really see what it is, but I'll pause it right on it. So there you go. You know what that represents. Yeah. So, and of course it's almost like the man in the moon in a way, but it has a face to represent its association with man. You know, this is man-made, this thing that was just released out into the world, and it's zooming through the picture, and it zooms by pretty quick because it comes and goes and it's gone. So that's what its symbolism is like, you know, this is over, and this whole thing, we're not going to mention the name of it. You guys already know what that is. So now we get into the Eye of Horus. The Horus symbolism is actually something that we use to this day. The term Horus is actually in reference to the hours that we use in our daytime. So Horus was the sun, according to Jordan Maxwell's work. Horus was the sun, and he went across the sky in 12 steps. And this is why we have 12 hours in a day. And Horus was actually renamed as hours in more modern times. So you have Horus going across the sky in 12 steps. And again, there you have the pyramid that's forming as well. Now, what we start seeing is this red, the red and this gold crown. Red is always a symbol for blood, or also life, but it's also related to lust and the lower root chakra. And as we pan out in this image, we see this red in the background. Well, the red is actually going to be attached to the rays, the sun rays. And what we have is the pyramid of illumination on the third eye of what would be known as Jesus. This is basically what this is representing right here with this pyramid. But they didn't exactly put it, you know, right over, because the eye is down here. You'll see it in just a second. The actual eye is right here. And the pyramid is at the top, which is the crown. This is the crown chakra up here. But this third eye is becoming illuminated and is waking up and is having its awakening. And that's what we're experiencing right now, the Great Awakening. So this is supposed to represent Jesus. And just note the eye color. The eye color is almost a golden color, as well as his skin is gold. Gold represents the sun. And it is imperative that we know this, that Jesus is the Son of God. It is the Son of Man. The S-U-N, because the S-U-N, the U is actually a lazy O. And again, if you go into Jordan Maxwell's work, you will know this. He will teach you everything you need to know, and you can join his research society for only $30 for a lifetime membership. I'm sure his research society is still carrying on. I'm sure there's people that are actually, you know, still working with that, even though Jordan passed this year. He left us with a world of knowledge to chew on. Okay, now, basically what we're seeing here is you're seeing his skeleton on the inside, but you see he's got all these adornments, and he's got his heart. His heart is actually down here at the sacral chakra. And what's happening is a resurrection of the people losing their fear in this realm right now. People are losing the fear and stepping forward into the light of justice to illuminate on all of the darkness. That's why we're hearing more about all of the trafficking and all of the atrocities and all of the corruption. It's finally gotten to our doorstep. And that's what it was taking in order for people to actually lose the fear. I knew that the day would come that this corruption would have to end up on people's doorsteps in order for them to truly step out of their box and not be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid of death, because death is just a recycle program. And that's what is going on in the world. So he has the triangle because this is a scalar wave shape. Scalar waves are what we emit with our minds. With each and every thought that we put out, there are scalar waves that are affecting the tetragrammaton field all around us. And this is the most important shape that we can comprehend for harnessing energy as well. Now, our scientists out here in the world and military and all these people, they have been creating scalar waves as a weapon system. They have been making 5G, and they've been making all these things to basically harm our DNA, our cells, everything. They can kill people with these scalar waves, just with sound, and just even long distances. They can just zap you and you'll be dead, because they've figured out that this whole tetragrammaton matrix that we're in, time doesn't exist. And there's a device called the Tepaphone, and I covered that in one of my videos, where you can actually send thought waves out to someone who was at a distance if you had their photo, and you could instantly harm them. And of course, as with all things, when you have something that you can use for bad, you can also use it for good. So there are ways to help people with this kind of information. Let's keep going. Now he is on a throne. This throne represents, I'm assuming, the Vatican Church, and it's broken because it has a serpentine shape here that's disconnected now. It's broken and it winds around. I guess the person who created this didn't want to give too much information, but to me, this looks like a serpent, and it's inanimate for one thing, but it's separated and broken. Now we have the Asian or Chinese military, possibly, that is also frozen. They are not active or animate. They are similar to the clay figures that were found underground of the clay army that was found in China. But, this is referring to that element of their military actually not being able to do anything. Like it's just a facade. Everything's being controlled by other means. As we pan out, these are basically Ra, the rays of sun coming down. That's why they say ray, Amun ray. That's where we get sun rays from. As we traverse through each age in astrotheology, the name of the sun changes and takes on a new name and a new form. So for the age of Aquarius, we will have a new symbol for the sun. We will remove the old symbol from Pisces, which was the fish, and we will regain a new symbol that will be something for the age of Aquarius. Now, on either side of this, we have, again, the eye of Horus, or the rays of the sun. This is the eye, the all-seeing eye, the eye of the one who sees all. Now we have a figure who is in black. Remember, black always has some reference to Saturn, but it is also reference to carbon. 666 is a carbon atom, and people need to know these things. That 666 is not a sign of the devil, it's a carbon atom. And it is a reference to us as usual. And the mark of the beast is also a reference to us, because they consider us beasts. We are beasts of burden. We are also acting as beasts because we have no real education. We have no real wisdom that we have been able to chew on. They have been feeding us lies and feeding us deception, which is black magic. When you do these things to hold someone back, it is considered black magic. So now we're going into this, where we have the Eiffel Tower, which is probably a lot older than we've been told, by the way. And everything you see in the background is that winter wonderland because I believe it's a reference to Antarctica. There's a lot of important things that are happening in Antarctica. They found so many things, and I actually met someone recently who had been in the Navy and had been in Antarctica, and he could not talk about all of the things that he saw. But apparently, there is some very interesting history that's there, and there is a civilization that's buried under the ice. I believe that all of the strange tales that you hear about Antarctica are based in fact. So just take all of the tales, as many as you can find, and don't stop digging for the answers on that. Now, what we have over here, it's either a representation of the sun or they're trying to represent Mars. Now, these spheres of influence are not as we have been told, and we have to stop listening to their narrative that they keep throwing out about space aliens and being able to travel to Mars. It's a lie that they are perpetuating. There is no way to go to Mars. Absolutely not. And I'm going to stand on that because I'm just learning so much from all the astrotheology that it makes no sense at all. And they don't want us to learn the truth about our world. So they're going to keep throwing stuff at our vision, telling lies to our vision through the tell lie vision to try and keep us from learning about ourselves, because the longer they can hold on to their narrative about fake alien invasion stuff, they will be able to then persuade those people to be a part of their world that they're still trying to create right now, which is the automatons and the Borg. The Borg system is going to be for those people who choose to be microchipped and to embrace that artificial intelligence in their lives. People are already doing it with things such as Ring cameras and all the smart technology they're inviting into their homes, and anything to do with their Saturnian control system that they put into place. That Saturnian control system will absolutely monitor people in real time. Most of us have gotten it because we have cell phones, we have computers, we have TVs. We have embraced their world and brought it into our lives. And that, again, is our free will. You see how this world works? Everything in this existence is based on your free will. And when you give your free will away, you invite things, whether a good nature or bad nature, into your life. The one thing they don't do is give us informed consent on most of this stuff. Now, there are a lot of things inside your phone, like these different kinds of informed consent that will tell you that you're not supposed to put your phone within 3 feet of your body, but they don't tell you where to find it. And so they perpetuate their deception. Again, let's just move on. Okay, so this carbon body is falling and failing, and you can see that there are graves over here. This is happening right now, as we know. It's kind of like a black plague that's happening, but that's from people's free will of taking a venomous thing, just like snakes do, and willingly putting it in their body, just like a snake would. There's a reason why they call it what they do. It's no different from venom. And when you willingly put this in yourself, you are basically playing a game of Russian roulette. That is what that's about. Now, over here we have, it's ridiculous because it has a little boy's head. And he's dancing around as just a skeleton. But to me, he's almost robotic. He doesn't quite look human. He's got some weird feet. And then here comes a falling star or rocket. I am going to put something out there. Most people are not going to know what I'm talking about. They're not going to believe me. But when you see a light shooting across the sky, it's not always necessarily a meteorite. Yes, it can be parts of the firmament that are cracking and falling, because there are videos about the blue ice that they find in Antarctica. and how they fall to the ground and they end up being nothing because they are just gone. It's actually either oxygen. It's not water because they said they've taken this blue ice. You cannot hold it with your hands because it's too cold, but they have it and it disappears. Instead of melting or turning into something else, it disappears completely. So they think that it's actually solidified oxygen. Now, what I was going to say is this, and they show us in the new series that has the Rings of Power. It's the Rings of Power series that's on Netflix, and they show how Gandalf comes to Earth. He is a light being, and he shoots in and creates an impact crater on the ground. And he is in the center of the impact crater. And I'm telling you that they're telling us truth about some of these things. Because these light beings can come in and we don't comprehend it enough. But you hear about people who talk about the illuminated ones or the angels of heaven who are very bright, the bright ones, the shiny ones, all of this information. There's a reason why they're telling us this, that we actually have light in our bodies. It's very dull light. It's dense light. And so it doesn't really emit the kind of light that we're talking about. But we do have low levels of UV light in our cells, and science has proven this. But once you get to a certain point in your illumination or your awareness and your knowledge of all kinds of things, the occult, the hidden things, the mystery schools, everything, when you start illuminating your mind and you're actually working in a spiritual manner towards a particular goal, you gain more light, but you have to do so by also ingesting light. You are what you eat. So if you eat meat, you are not going to ascend to this level. It's going to take you a very long time because your belief systems have been clouded with lies. All of us have been subjected to this, and we need to become more aware of this. That's all this part of this age of Aquarius is about, is like illuminating our eyes to see the problems before us and to start making changes as we can. Moving forward. So it's raining down the light from heaven, so to speak. And as you can see, this dancing kid robot thing. Now they are, more recently, they just made skin for robots that can actually be cut and heal over the foundations of the metals. It's creepy, it's weird, but we're going into the age of Aquarius and they want robots to replace us as workers. This was the idea of the Illuminati, the bad faction. They wanted us to be replaced because they intended to truly just get rid of most of us. We have free will, and so that is the biggest block for them. And, to be able to control us is very difficult for them. I'm backing this up because we missed the plane that comes through, and it's a stealth bomber or something. Blows up the Eiffel Tower. Looks like a boomerang, but it's like a stealth bomber type thing. Blows the top off the tower. That is, I guess they're, maybe cutting the, I don't know, cutting the head off the crown of France, which would be the royal crown, but, Great Britain is done. So the kid's still dancing, robot thing, because, it's so cool to be a robot. Not me. There's a spotlight. Here comes this. We know what that is. This is snake venom. Again, venomous. Venomous is just like hypodermic snake teeth. That's exactly what this represents. And if you don't get that, I'd suggest you do a little bit more homework if you don't believe that these things are all poisonous. Every single one of them, not one of them has been beneficial. And they do have, as I said, Russian roulette with these. And it's not just the one more recently. If you were to put the potent liquid in each one of these, it would be obvious where all the harm comes from. That's why they only do it in certain ones. You see that 666 that lit up right there? Yeah, with barcode. Note that. That's what they put in people. They're putting in the graphene oxide into the bodies. That's why this person is gone. And they have a little graves set up, ready to take them. Yeah, remember all those grave liners, coffin liners, whatever they were, that the train depots and stuff. Yeah, they had them in Georgia, and people were talking about that all over around the country. So there's that. Now, here comes the answer, I guess. Flying in from heaven, this is a light being. Light being comes in, obviously carrying a baby. It's like a stork, you know, but it's a phoenix. The phoenix is coming, flying over the waters. Can't exactly see the shape of what this is. All of this is symbolism, pretty much. Now, this earth is obvious that it is not green. And that's a problem. But this is what we're doing to the world. We're actually paving everything. And in doing so, we're actually killing and harming ourselves. This is going into, obviously, a lab, dropping off the baby boy. So here he is. Now, they are obviously over in an Arab nation somewhere, because this is all the Arabic writing. So the phoenix is allowing, I guess it's supposed to be Israel, I'm not sure. They're allowing that to resurrect. Now here comes this flying saucer down to the pyramid. That's in, obviously, Antarctica, somewhere frosty. Lights on top of the pyramid. It comes down, interacts with the lights, activates them, I guess. This indicates that there's underground facility to these things. These are like, you know, allow the oxygen underground. All-seeing eye at the top of the pyramid. Everything's illuminated. Here it comes, a little UFO coming from the hangar. Okay, now we're going into the area where Jesus is, which is the resurrection of us, because Jesus is the Son of God. The rays of Ra. I can't see what's on the door over there. He's getting up. And look, he's got his own little hoverboard. You see, they're basically giving a reference to the age of Aquarius and how the technologies are going to be crazy. People got to get ready for this whole age of Aquarius, because it's going to be like nothing you've ever seen once we get rid of the ones who have been in control for so long. But it takes a long time to undo and make changes. So just note this, it's probably going to be another 50 years or so before you actually see a lot of integration. But by the time 2035 is over with, we should have some significant and eye-opening inventions that come to the public for public consumption. Okay, so he goes zooming out on his hoverboard. This is like a time capsule. They're lifting up this part of the floor. They're again, they're telling you that technology is basically helping at this point with those things that just went down in there to pick this up. Now, again, significant. The Ark of the Covenant. I believe the Ark of the Covenant belongs in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid. I do. I believe that it was a construction for power, for electricity, free energy technology. You hear stories where people actually touched the Ark and they died. It's because it is a battery in essence. But if you put it with that particular stone, apparently it resonates because of the scalar shape of the pyramid. It harnesses the energy, not only the orgone energy from the earth, but it also harnesses the energy that is in the conductor of the Ark of the Covenant. And this thing, because it's made of gold, it's a reactor, basically, a very natural reactor, but it's something so powerful that it will absolutely harm you if you touch it. So these little robots are basically lifting it up and pulling it out of its hiding place. And here comes another one. Going to remove that lid. Look at that. Take that lid off. What's in there? Yeah, they're gonna tell you that there's this stuff in here, and I don't know what this says. They're saying it's like a sword or something, but I'm telling you, this is a reactor, the real one. I don't know what that says. Unfortunately, I don't read Aramaic or whatever that is. Now they're in a futuristic classroom, world news. And they're saying that they discovered this thing because it was inside the Ark of the Covenant, blah, 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 blah. Apparently that news is coming. I don't know. But everybody's cheering because it's been found. The original Torah. Isn't that interesting? Now, the Torah that we currently know about is a book of black magic, is what I've heard about it. That it's actually black magic, because what they do is they say that the Gentiles, which are us, you and I, are to be the servants of the chosen ones, which is BS. Okay. There's nobody that's chosen in this world. We are all part of the same construct. You can call it God's children, whatever you wanted to say, but there's no one in this world that is chosen. That feeds the egoic mind and then creates psychopaths. It was written here that Muhammad is the messenger of God. See, they're just going to try to make a new God. We can't listen to any of this kind of stuff, people. There is no Messiah. There is no one God like this. There's many gods and there's many masters. But this is a falsehood. But they're saying in this video that this is what they're going to be telling us, that Muhammad is now the messenger. As I said before, each age is going to change the characters. They're always going to change for each age to suit the age, and then they're going to create a new religion. It's all religioning the mind. We had Pisces, and now that's being torn apart with Christianity and the fish of Christianity. But it is about to shift again. And unfortunately, a lot of Christians are going to have a hard time with this. But the more you learn about astrotheology, the easier it becomes to just let go and go, oh my gosh, each age has a different frequency. It has a different energy. It has a different God. This is the thing that comes about. True gospel, angel, written, Ahmad, Muhammad is the messenger of God. What they're telling you here, the angles or angels of heaven, the angles of heaven are the celestial alignments at any given moment, because it is a heavenly clock and it resets itself every 26,000 years. But it just marches around a 26,000 year cycle, give or take a few years or 100, and it creates all of these patterns. And there's been people who have lived long enough to notice the patterns, but those people are not you and I, because we have not evolved in our consciousness enough to live that long. Gospel of Barnabas. Now, I don't know about any of this stuff, guys. I just, I don't follow any one teaching because I don't think that's what we're supposed to do. I am following some of Franz Barton stuff because when you go inwards, you're going to start finding the truth. Now, note the eagle. Again, we're getting into sort of Yggdrasil symbology with the eagle, the all-seeing eye. The eagle sees from above and can see the snake from above and kill the snake or serpent. Eagles flying. Here we go. This guy. Okay, so this guy is representative of the age of Aquarius, and he is taking aim at the eagle, or which is also symbolic of the United States of America. It has not been the United States of America for a very long time. They actually bankrupted this nation and then created the United States. That's why you never see America on any document anymore. They made it a corporation, and it's called the United States Corporation. Go look up United States Inc. and see what you find. So this country is over, and they're going to probably label it as something else. So do not be surprised when you realize that you're standing on another nation and it's not America that you were born in. Now, so what they have over here again is some Arabic that I do not read. And Hebrew is actually not Hebrew, but you got to go listen to Jordan Maxwell and he will tell you a bunch of things because he did a lot of research and he put all of his research on his research society. And you can join that again for $30 for an entire lifetime membership, which I did. So, okay. Again, guy is age of Aquarius. It's shooting at the eagle. It's going to shoot the eagle down because this country is done. The eagle falls. Look, nightclub. Yeah. Democracy. See, it falls because of democracy. And, they're encouraging people to just become hedonists, and which is basically what Americans have done. We've created Babylon, and Babylon is going to fall. The entire Babylonian system is coming down. But right now, we've got a world full of people who just indulge in material and egotistical and flesh and all this crap, while some of us are trying to strive for higher realms. I want more spiritual things in my life. I don't know about you guys. I have surpassed this stuff. Yeah, demo freedom. Basically, they're demolishing freedom through this crap. While people go and play, they destroy freedoms. Now, here is a constellation and the crescent moon. The crescent moon back in the day was actually part of what Baal was. So when you see a crescent moon, it's also the horns of Baal, but it's also the moon god. Like Moses, and this was something that I learned from Jordan, was that Moses actually had horns sticking out of his hair. But because they hid it with his hair in the different carvings, the statues and things of that depicted Moses, you couldn't really tell. But when you look really close, you're like, oh my gosh, he does have horns. It's because Moses was a moon god. Interesting information. And this constellation, I'm assuming, is Aquarius. I have not looked at the shape of Aquarius. I really don't know. I'm sorry about that. It's something that I'm actually covering in my own life when I can, is going over the astrology and constellations and stuff. Now, here we go with that Torah again. Yeah, notice the Torah, which is true, how they open it from the back and they read from right to left. And that is what was actually done everywhere. And even Ogham actually read, I believe it was either from up to down or down to up, just like the Asian or Asiatic symbols are read. But the Torah was read from back to front. This is what has been changed in our world so long ago. We were taught to read from left to right. And it in turn, it confuddled a lot of things. So we're flipping to whatever number 62 says. And 64. Now, here we go. Hey, they're telling us we're going to have flying cars, y'all. And we're already seeing the beginning phase of flying cars. But I am not a fan, I have to say. If you've seen the blades, the rotating blades that are outside of those things, I'm like, that's going to cut someone's head off when you land. It's ridiculous. Like, there's no way I'm buying one of those. But these, if they truly hover without any propellers and things, that would be amazing. Can you imagine if we all get flying cars, guys? Like, it's going to be ridiculous though, because you got some people that can't fly and drive, there's just no way. They can barely walk and then much less drive and then fly something that was falling out of the sky, unless these things are computer operated to just, be programmed to go, which I don't want. I don't want any kind of thing where I can't have control of it. I don't like that idea at all. But what we have around here is a very stale world. Again, I guess it's just depicting the winter that we're in, because Aquarius is still the winter of consciousness. And these buildings are still in the shapes of cubes, and they're very stale. There's no life in these buildings. Where's the green? Even the trees are fake and artificial. I guess they're saying, more things going to be artificial. And there's the moon over there. The moon is actually spinning. Isn't that interesting? Because the moon doesn't really spin. Okay, look at those cars. They're kind of based on like old-timey cars. It's kind of funny. All right, look, y'all, it's Baal, or Baal. Some people know it as Baal, but it's Baal, the bull, the golden calf of Taurus. Let's find out what happens with Taurus, y'all. Look at this. This bull worship that we've seen so much. Look, World Bank. World Bank. And this is the grid of power that they have created. And the symbol is actually, we don't live on a globe. I'm just letting you know. It's closer to what Yggdrasil is, because of what ancient people have to say. When you go into the ancient times, you get the truth. And we know we've been in a huge age of deception where they just basically destroyed all the truth and manipulated our minds. But this golden calf, watch this. World Bank, you know what that is. It's also the stock market. Oh, here comes Age of Aquarius. What's he going to do? Oh, look. Age of Aquarius just said, you know what? You're done, golden calf. There's no more of you. There's no more of your influence that's going to be around here. And the lights on World Bank just went off. Yep. That includes the stock market. Trillionaire Familia Estatis Sumus. they're saying that we're going to get this stimulus, we're going to have like, I guess, universal basic income that comes. So here's the poor person. He's like the little poor farmer who's just been out here humble. And it's raining dollars everywhere. But this is sigil magic. All of the dollars has been sigil magic to manipulate the minds of the masses. And it's been creating its energy through these seals and symbols that are on the piece of paper that we carry around. You can dispel them. You can go with your mind. This is why imagination is so important and why they indoctrinated us as children. Your imagination creates in that little holographic field we call the tetragrammaton or the matrix. And when you do the little actions with your mind, I use the crystal because I know it absolutely works beyond a shadow of a doubt. You can make the backwards circle or counterclockwise, circling once, imagining the golden ring of light being created and formed over these seals and symbols. And then you envision another golden circle of light within that original circle, just like a bullseye. And then you make that I dream of genie move where you go and you exhale swiftly out of your nose while you nod your head down and casting the crystal forwards. Now, all of this has to be in synchronization with the decharging or deprogramming of the crystal. Before you actually use it, you have to expel the previous charge and then charge it with love. And love will conquer all. And when you do this, you will find that this is an amazing tool because it amplifies your thoughts. It is a wand, a natural wand taken from the earth, and it will amplify your thoughts and therefore activating these things with a more powerful manner. But yeah, if you go to my crystal videos, you can learn this stuff and learn how to discharge and recharge a crystal. I'll try to put up some newer videos so that way they stay more current and people don't have to dig for them too far away in my uploads. Okay, here, now look at this. This Star of Israel is not a Star of Israel. This is the elements. It is the 4 elements in its alchemical state, actually. So what you have are opposing triangles or pyramids. This triangle right here is the element fire. Its opposing shape, which is a V, is water. And then when you have the upward facing triangle with a line through the top is air. And when you have the downward facing triangle or V shape with a line going through the top of it, or actually the bottom, is earth. So this means that they have held the knowledge sacred of the sacred geometrical tetragrammaton matrix that is what we consider all the elements combined. This is what the tetragrammaton looks like in a very tiny aspect. Now, if you imagine this little 2D shape in a multiple, like if you just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste all around, and imagine these as actual pyramids with other points coming out at these ends in a 3D fashion, that is what the tetragrammaton looks like. And you can go look that up, go look up tetragrammaton, look at the different shapes that are there, and you will see and know what I'm talking about. That is what we call the matrix, and it reacts with our thoughts, which are scalar waves. The matrix is scalar in its nature. So all the frequencies, every frequency out here reacts with it, even these 2D designs. Yeah, so state of Israel. This was the Israel that the Rothschilds created only 70 years ago or so. They created the state of Israel so that they could have their land for the chosen ones that would serve their narrative of world domination. They created the narrative of ancient Israel. There was no ancient Israel, it was Palestine. And the Palestinians were basically pushed aside, and that Balfour Agreement, you can go look all this history up. The Balfour Agreement allowed for the Rothschilds to go and make their land that they wanted to create. Now, when a flag turns black, like the one the Israeli flag just did, it basically has killed it. And as you can see, there's a little writing on it now. It basically killed the other country with what it represented. And now it's something else. So what's going to happen, we're going to see that whole part of the world transform and transition into something else, just like America. Have you noticed out here in the world how they have taken the American flag and they've made it black and white? That's not by accident. That's not for the military. They are marching around with those reversed or dead flags representing death, because black represents death. It means that it's done. It's no longer valid or viable. They've been wearing that on their uniforms, and most people have no clue what it even means. They think, oh, well, this is cool. It's a new design for the American flag. Nope. People, they're telling you that it's done. It's over and it's no longer valid and it's no longer in play, because these people came in and subverted it. So now it has to be changed. It will never go back. Nothing will ever go back to the way it was. Nothing. We always move forward in progression, because our souls have to play out these little parts. We're just in one big play. That's why Dante called it a divine comedy, because it's one big play and each one of us is one of the characters in the play. Okay, now there's some symbols over here, it looks like, on the edge of the flag. I can't really catch it, but and there it is. Okay, this is looking like Legoland, really. Look at how stale that is. Stale and stagnant. It's like a prison. It's white, but this is what they've done. Now, Dome of the Rock, here it comes. It seems like a wasteland too. What I want to see is trees come back. If people were to try to like reestablish the land out here, then, you know, we would see the entire world transform. But until they allow the women to come back into their society as an equal participant, which is the divine feminine energy, it will always remain a desert. And that is really, really sad, because they're suppressing the divine feminine, which is the healing aspect of our world. But in the age of Virgo, we will see that you know, come back, that whole healing. Looks like a pirate brigade over here to me. It's almost like the Skull and Bones. But yeah, this is it's a fortress, and honestly, it looks more like a prison, but I guess they're trying to symbolize kingdom. The white walls symbolize purity, and what they've created here is, I guess, an octagon. I need to see what the shape of it is. Golden doors. Okay, now here comes Aquarius again. He's got his technology. He's got his silver ship. He's almost like the Silver Surfer, guys. Remember that symbolism? The Silver Surfer? Yeah, I'm sure that's probably what that was in the movie too, was symbolic of the Silver Surfer. Yeah, so it is an octagon. Octagon is a different energy from the cube. He's flying over the lands. Oh, and you know what? Space Force. Let's back that up for a minute. Let me tell you about this Space Force thing. You don't need to know about this. Okay, so he's riding on the Space Force logo right now. See this angle right here? It is part of a septagram, which is a 7-pointed star, which is the Elven Star. So this guy could also be Elven. And I can show y'all that. I'll put that in this video so y'all can see that. All right, so continuing, we just go, he's flying over the earth. Again, the crescent moon, this is part of what Moses was. The star represents the different elements plus spirit. So you have the air, earth, fire, water, ether, or spirit element in a 5-pointed star. It's a pentagram, and you can use these for protection with the circle. Again, we see the flag turn black. And again, I don't read this language, so I don't know what that says. But as you can see, what we have is a building. This shape, not only does it look like a needle, but it is representative of a magic wand or scalar wave form. It has a conical shape at the tip. This amplifies energy. And what they've been doing with the phased array, if you go online and look up phased array, that's PHASED, phased array, ARRAY. The phased array, they've been able to actually amplify the frequencies from 5G and other things. It looks like a beehive, basically. So that might be why they have that in the shape of an octagon, that building, because it amplifies the whatever frequency. But so does this scalar wave shape. Sacred geometries hold different powers. This building at least looks like it's made of stone and not metal. Hood. I guess we're dealing with China. China is supposed to rule the world according to the Rothschilds' plan. I don't know what Hud is, but I guess that's on what's his name's little vehicle here. I'll have to go research what Hud is. But I guess Aquarius is flying the Chinese flag. They're going to kill the all-seeing eye that was breaking its hypnotic power. And then we have all the white doves of peace. They're flying in a conical pattern. We're supposed to have peace for 1,000 years. Now, this is Saturn. This is the Hajj that people go to, they do the Hajj and they go over to the Kaaba, which is the cube of Saturn. And the white doves are flying. Let's see, they're flying counterclockwise. I can't tell. It looks like it's counterclockwise. And these are supposed to be all the people that have been marching around the Hajj, This is Saturnian energy. Okay, they are going counterclockwise, which is pushing out energy, pushing out peace, I guess. And it is just one little circuit in the world of energy. We can actually do these things. You and I and everyone else out here, you can go, and as you assemble together and collectively focus your thoughts on one thing, you can actually manifest energy out in the world, because your thoughts are scalar waves. And if you multiply that intention, you combine your force like a phased array. So if you're marching around in a circle in a clockwise fashion with the same intent around a fire or around anything of any value, like a tree or, anything of a positive nature, you can actually manifest with your thoughts a beautiful sine wave of energy that goes out and reacts with the tetragrammaton and brings that energy in. This is why they wanted us to be independent, to not come together, to not focus on one thing with all of the distractions in the world and all the chaos and all of the different shapes and forms and interactions and items and all of the things, the busyness of our lives. What we do on a daily basis, going out here, mowing the grass, tending to our yard, tending to our house, paying for our house, watching TV, drinking beer, go sit on the sofa, go watch your TV after your long, hard day of work. And don't think about these things. Don't think about uniting as one with just your mind. You don't even need any tools. You don't need any money. You just unite with one purpose and one intention. And guess what? It happens overnight. That is the power of our subconscious minds combined together as one. They do not want you to know this. That is why they put out all the distractions, the black magic, the chaos magic. It's everywhere. It's everything in your life. All of the colors represent a certain energy. All of the different fabrics are synthetic, synthetic blends with other synthetics. They've removed a lot of the cotton, 100% cotton, 100% wool. All of these natural aspects of our world have been removed and replaced with synthetic, with things that do not benefit life. We have to recognize it for what it is. We are destroying our world willingly because they taught us to. Every time I drive by a place where they're chopping down trees and mowing over fields of green to put up more construction and more things like this, I'm like, this is an abomination. If we don't wake up to stop it and stop supporting it, then it's us who's also guilty of creating it. That's the way I think when I see all this stuff out here. That's why I do not support the monetary construct. I don't like it. I do not like it. It's an abomination. It bends the minds of the people. They have no idea what they're doing because they just want more money. And they don't see the damage that they're doing to our sacred world. They are destroying our connection with our spirit. This is what that movie Avatar is all about. People love the movie Avatar, and there is a new one coming out in December of 2022, but they do not realize that that is them in the movie, that is us, all of us, and we have a connection to the divine spirit of nature and everything all around. But nobody wants to actually make that move of just getting rid of their stuff and saying no to the stuff in the world, to stop shopping, to stop going and stop doing and stop collecting junk in their life to entertain themselves with. So eventually our world will die, a few more times around the wheel of time, and we're done, because it is turning into a desert plain. If Google Earth is correct with as much desert that is presented there now, then we're in trouble unless we start taking action and recognizing this. It could be all a sham. There could be more green that's there, but they're depicting it as deserts, and we need to be aware of it. Okay, so this is their fake world, of course. And they're establishing their country over there, new foundation of the world superpower, essentially, is going to be China. And I guess part of these Arabic nations and stuff. But the whole thing is there's supposed to be peace on Earth after the all-seeing eye is destroyed and the World Bank and all this other stuff. But then after 1,000 years, who knows what kind of energy is going to be brought in. But we have a lot of work to do. And it's going to be reliant on you and I. So this credit goes to Seymour Studios for putting out this video. And, I just wanted to point out symbolism because I can see it now that I've been to Jordan Maxwell School of Knowledge, basically on YouTube, listening to many, 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 many videos of Jordan Maxwell. I can never get enough of his videos, but he will illuminate your mind, and your mind will become aware of the symbolism that is absolutely everywhere, all around us at all times. And to become more aware means that you become more conscious in your decisions. As we become more consciously aware of this, we become more spiritual. Connected to spirit is what we actually seek in our world. But most people are so lost, they don't even know that they're missing it. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.